हाय एवरीवन, आज हम बात करेंगे डिफरेंस बिटवीन नेटिव क्वेरी एंड JPQL. If interviewer is interested in checking your knowledge on the database front, you might get to see this question in the interview. So we will talk about JPQL and native query one by one. So if I talk about JPQL, so JPQL stands for Java Persistence Query Language. So it's a part of JPA specification and object oriented, and it basically works on JPA entities, okay, not on the database tables. Also, it's a database agnostic, so whatever the queries we write, that is compatible to multiple database. Let's say as of now my application is fetching data from Oracle SQL DB, and going forward if my database gets migrated to MS SQL, in that case whatever the query I am writing, specifically the JPQL, that is going to be compatible with Oracle SQL DB as well as MS SQL, because whatever internally these queries gets translated into the database specific SQLs based on the dialect we provide in the application. Okay, so let's see how we can define a JPQL. So for defining a JPQL, you can use @query annotation, and you can, let's say if I want to get a specific user detail based on the user's name, right? So this is how I can write a JPQL. Okay, and if I talk about the native queries allow us to write SQL directly, making them specific to underlying databases dependent on its SQL dialect. Okay, so if I show you quickly how we can write native queries, so this is how we can write the native query. We will use the same @query parameters. Okay, then we define our SQL, and in the second parameter we just need to set this native query parameter to true. And so whatever the queries I am writing here, these queries can be directly executed on the database. Okay, there is no translation happening for these queries, but the problem statement is these queries syntaxes are specific to our databases. Let's say, so in future, in case your database changes or data migration happens, then you might need to replace your native query because it won't work as it is. Now, when to use the native query or when to use the JPQL, let's talk about it. So let's say if your queries are very straightforward, it's simple, then I recommend you to use JPQL. However, if your queries are complex, okay, and you want your queries to be optimized from the performance point of view, then also you can use native query. Apart from that, there are certain database features like functions, stored procedures or unions which are not available to JPQL. So in case if you are interested in using these features, I recommend you to use native query. Okay, so